My name is Janice Hart. I've been a volunteer at Columbus House for approximately 12 years or so. I focus mainly on the shelter, seasonal shelter for the men. How I came in contact with this, sometime in November of 2008, around 5 in the afternoon, I was driving on Howard Avenue, and I noticed this long line of men outside, and it was very cold that November. So I passed by. But when I got to the light at Washington Avenue, something just kind of pricked me in my heart and said, you got to go find out what that's all about. So I turned my truck around and I went there and I parked and got out, went inside, and I saw like 3 men who were doing intake of having these men come in this place that looks like a warehouse. So I said to him, how do you feed these men? And one of the gentlemen responded to me and said, through volunteers. I said, well, how can I be a volunteer? And I gave him my telephone number, and I think it was a Thursday afternoon, and I went on my way. Friday afternoon at work, I got a telephone call from someone, I don't remember the person's name, from Columbus House, and she says, are you Janice Hart? I said, yes, speaking. She said, did you want to volunteer for us? I said, sure. She says, how about this Saturday? I said, okay. And she said, the person that the group should have fed them have reneged on it. Do you think you can cook for them? I said, why not? But what was funny, I didn't ask her how many people. I thought it was probably about 50 people. And she said, do you think you can prepare a meal for 100 people? I said, sure I can. I got into gear that I think I never got, and I think I got all the adrenaline from the heavens. I left work, I went to Sam's Club at the time, and I purchased all the things I thought I need. And I came home, and if you know that I live in a condo, my kitchen could be a little 4x4 spot. I don't know how I operated in there, but I was successful in making a meal. Brought it down there myself. I found one guy that I know from work, and he came to the house and he loaded it in the car for me. And when he came, he said, I'll help you to serve it. So he helped me and served it, and that evening was such heartfelt. It's a feeling that I cannot express, how I felt to see how satisfied these men were. And when I told you I brought enough meat to feed 200 people. And then after I did that, I called the number back and I asked the person, how can I be on a schedule to help with these men? And from that day on, I went on a schedule to do that. In the same time, I just recruited a lot of volunteers for me. So I had people that would come to the house after I'm finished cooking, because I like to cook by myself. Being Caribbean, those guys really got a gourmet food. So then I recruited people to come with me to be my servers, and I recruited people from different walks of life. And when they came, their life was changed. So I actually don't have an organization, but I have an organization that's imaginable. So I call myself the hands without walls and the heart of gold. And that's how I recruit people to feed them. And I noticed that they didn't have enough covers and stuff. So I actually did a blanket run at my job. I work at Yale Naval Hospital in the operating room for the last 30 years. So I got to work one day and I went to all the VPs and I said, I need to cover up some homeless men, and I need blankets from you, and you can order it on Amazon. I don't know why I said that, but they all did, and I had an overflow of blankets. And then every Christmas, I made bags for them, goodie bags with like 12 items, 2 pairs of socks, washcloth, toothbrush, toothpaste, razor, shaver, and all that nice stuff. And then I realized that Christmas time, other organizations came to give them gifts. So I changed that date, and I gave them the gifts on Valentine's. So on Valentine's Day, February 14th, I make over like 150 bags of toiletries, tie them with red bow, additional with candy. Last February 14th, I could not find a volunteer, because I guess everybody had a volunteer, but I had the best volunteer. I had about 80 men that I came by the overflow that was on Columbus off the boulevard, and I each gave them a bag. I do that because I recognize that apart from feeding someone, there's so much more to it that needs to be done to them. I really wish I could do like a gazillion things, and I have people who are so willing to help me that I know that I'll never stop doing this for the rest of my life. And through this, I've met some very interesting men, and I must say to you that what kind of warms my heart, I had a guy, more than one, that was in a shelter, but then I saw them at a workplace and they were glad to tell somebody that, you see that lady? She fed me all this food, and he got his own apartment, and I bought him gifts for his apartment, and he's now living in an apartment. You know, those things just kind of they just kind of warm my heart. You know, life might just bowl you a curveball. And so I think everyone is a paycheck or a circumstance away from being homeless. So for me, it's not something I do because I want the praise or I want somebody to tap me on the shoulder. In truth and in fact, when Columbus House called me to say I was a recipient of an award, I was just overwhelmed, and I said, I'm collecting this award for all the volunteers that I have that you don't see, that come by to lift the stuff, to put in the car, to donate to me. And if I could shout them out, it would be so many of them, I would miss a name. But I also, from this experience, I wrote a poem because I have a book that I published. And the poem was titled, In the Land of Plenty, Man go hungry, man go homeless, man go lonely. In the land of plenty, man suffer at the feet in the land of plenty. No one cares in the land of plenty, but their hands like the angels of love that do care in this land of plenty. So it also behoves me to know that in a country where we live like this, that there's so much that still people go lacking. So if I can be the gap between a hungry person and somebody who get a meal to eat, I will be that gap until I take my last breath. So this award is the John Martinez Award, which I have the privilege to be awarded and accepted. And I accept this award on behalf of all the volunteers over the years who have stood by my side in their physical work, in their financial help, and also for Columbus House to have recognized what I've done over the years. I'm like a background singer. I don't mind if you look good on the front while I hold my chord in the back. But as I say before, that I will bless everyone that I can bless as long as I have breath. So although in the land of plenty, if it's Janice Hart alone, you'll never go hungry.